In this video, I'm going to give you 3 great tips on how to transition from being a manager to a leader. So let's crack on. Now, management and leadership are obviously 2 separate things. Leadership is about the vision, the direction in which we're going, and obviously management is about getting us there. And they are 2 totally different skill sets. And you may be very organised, you may be very good at getting other people to do things as a manager. And that's really obviously very important. But what we want to now think about is how do we transition more into leadership. And the 3 tips that I want you to really think about and think about how you're going to develop in these 3 areas. Now the first one is understand how it all works. I'm amazed that quite often that quite a few managers, they only know about their own area of the business. And we are becoming more siloed. We are becoming more, focused on our own areas because of lots of different reasons and working remotely and not having other people around us. So it's very important that we do go out of our way to find out what else is happening in your business, what else is happening with other managers and what else is happening in other areas and departments. So you can contribute, you can discuss, and you can look at new ideas. So that's really tip number 1. Understand how it all works, and also especially the financials. If you're not particularly good on the financials, please spend some time with your finance people, your FD, finance controllers, and having a really good understanding of the finances. So yeah, how does it all work? The second one is to start thinking like a senior manager, senior leader, senior director. How do they make decisions? How do they think? What are they doing in terms of thinking one step ahead? And I've often done this exercise with a lot of people in the sporting world when I've coached in football and I've coached people in cricket. And there's certain people that you think, oh yeah, they sort of understand it all. And I see that they've got good opportunity in the future to take on a role as a captain or take on a role as a coach or manager in the future. And I quite often have conversations with them away from the game, and say, okay, well, what would you do in this situation? What about if you only had this resource? What about if you were going to play that team and your best players weren't playing? What would you do? And to get them to start thinking about the challenges and the things that are faced with. And it's the same in business. Start to think, because it's easy to criticise them and they on a regular basis. In other words, your senior management teams and your senior leadership team and directors. We're all very good at that, giving our opinions. But then stop and think, okay, so what would I do? And also, how do they make decisions? And what do they have to make those decisions based on? And we all start to then realise it's not that easy. So it's very important we start to network with those people and have those conversations and understanding their thinking processes. So the first tip was to understand how it all works. And the second tip is learn to think like your senior leaders and directors in a business. The third tip is about being emotionally aware of those around us. Now, obviously, working in tough times, when there's lots of uncertainty and people aren't really sure what's going to happen. Yes, we do need to be assertive with our decision making, but it doesn't mean to say that we can't be compassionate in understanding other people's situations and what they're perhaps going through. And obviously, we've got to think about the needs of the business, and we've got to put those 3 things together. And then we then realise, yeah, it's not always that easy. So there again, have other conversations with your senior people about the challenges that they face in being emotionally aware with people within the business. So there's your 3 top tips. Understand how it all works. Make sure that you learn to think like senior leaders and directors in the business, and making sure that you are emotionally aware with what's happening around you. Now obviously there's lots more to moving up into senior leadership positions than just those 3 tips. But if you'd like to discuss them or any others with me and areas that you would like to develop and set up a development plan for you, more than happy to do so. And if you are responsible for developing others in your business and you'd like to conversation about how we make that, or how you make that transition with your people who are currently managers up into leadership, there again, please get in contact and we can have a good conversation about that. So thank you for your time.